by clicking on Help, Update Dreamdraper. Okay, we're ready to get started, and for this example I want to draw a basic wall, so I'm going to click on my rectangle icon up here, and then I'm going to draw a rectangle. Keep your finger depressed as you draw the rectangle with your mouse. Now I want you to notice one thing. Normally when you start Dreamdraper and you want to draw an object, and I'm going to click on the square as an example, or I'll click on the circle, you'll see that the normally drawn objects are gray with a black outline. But for my purposes, I wanted to change that default for the rectangle from the gray to kind of an off-white creamy color, because I just think it's more pleasant to start a wall with a neutral shade. Now if you want to find out more about how to change the default colors, go into Edit, Preferences, and there's much more information if you look at the Edit Preferences tutorial on our website. Oh, and the other thing that I do want to mention is that when I say click, I'm meaning a left click on the mouse for right-handed people. So a click is a left click, and if it is a right click I will specifically say right click, but otherwise a click is a left click. Alright, I want to get rid of these objects. I don't need them. So I can use my mouse and lasso the two of them, and then I can either hit the delete key on my keyboard or use the trash icon in the top toolbar. Now the next thing that I want to do is I want to size this wall. So I'll highlight it with my mouse. And if you notice at the bottom, it's going to display the current width and height. So for me to scale this, I can click on Object, Scale. And now I can type in my dimensions. And for this example, I'm going to have the width at 180 inches and the height at 120 inches. There. Now if you look again at the bottom of your canvas, you will see that that wall or that object is indeed 180 by 120. And just for your information, you can get to most commands by right-clicking. And in this case, I could have scaled by right-clicking and then clicking on the scale option. So you do have options as to how to get to your commands. And if you want to learn more about scaling and about what maintain aspect ratio is, please make sure to check out the other tutorials that are on our website, or also look in the quick reference guide. So now that I've got my wall built, I want to put a couple of windows on the wall. But before I do that, I think I want to lock this wall in place. I'll just go up and click on the lock icon. There. Now, I can't accidentally move the wall. I'm trying to with my mouse, but it's staying stationary. Alright, so I'm ready to pull in some windows, and I will click on my Windows and Doors category here in the Design Library. And I'm looking for some double hung windows. There, I want to have a triple window combination. So in this case, I'm going to pull on this one here. I'll pull it right onto my canvas. And the other one that I want to pull on is this one here. I'm going to zoom in so we can see these windows a little bit better, just clicking on this magnifying glass. There. And I can close my browser window. I want to resize this window, so I'll highlight it with my mouse and I'll go to Object, Scale. And in this case, I want to change the height to 68 inches. I'm going to leave the width the same. There. And I said that this was going to be a triple window combination, and I need 2 of these, so I will click on Copy and Paste. And now I've got 2 of the windows. And I need to resize this one, so I'll click on Object, Scale, and I'll change this height to 68 inches. Then I will position these windows next to one another, and I can move that window gently to the left. I can nudge it to the left by clicking on the arrow key on my keyboard. There, I was using the left arrow key. And I can do the same thing with this window. I'll move it right in, and I'll just nudge it gently with one click of my arrow key, the left arrow key. Now, notice that the left window is slightly lower than the middle window. That's no problem. I will lasso the 3 of them with my mouse, and then I can click on the Align Top command here in my toolbar. There, and they are perfectly aligned. Now, if you want to know more about these align commands, because there are 6 of them, make sure to look at our tutorial on our website. And now that I've got the 3 windows aligned perfectly, I want to group them. There. And now I can move the 3 of them as one object. Oh, and I did want to mention something about the lasso. When you are lassoing a component or multiple components, make sure that your mouse completely envelops all of the components. If you only partially lasso an object, it will not get highlighted. Now let me zoom out so I can see the full wall. I'm going to click on this magnifying glass with the minus sign in it. There. Now the next thing that I want to do is I want to position this window on the wall, and I mentioned a couple of times how to lasso an object or multiple objects. To lasso, just position your mouse somewhere on the blank canvas, and it could be at the top or at the bottom, but somewhere around the object or objects, and left click with your mouse. And you want to make sure that you envelop the entire object or objects, and then release your mouse there. And then I can move this into place. So in this example, I want the window to be 36 inches off of the floor line. And what I can do is I can click on this dimension tool. We have 2 dimension tools. I'm going to click on the one on the right, which will allow me to specify 36 inches. Then just click on the canvas, and I can enter in my dimensions, 36 inches. Alright, and I will start to draw that dimension tool at the floor line. And if I want a perfectly vertical line, I will depress on the Shift key. And now I can highlight my window and I can move it into place. And I'll just nudge it down a little bit. There. Now let's pretend that the window is 45.5 inches away from the corner wall. Again, I'm going to click on this dimension tool right here, click on the canvas, and I will enter in my dimension, 45.5. And I will start to draw. Remember, if I want a perfectly straight line, depress the Shift key as you move that dimension tool and it will lock perfectly horizontal or vertical. And then I can highlight my window and gently nudge it a little bit to the left. There. Now I'm done with building my basic foundation wall, and I'm ready to put on a window treatment. What I want to do first, though, is I don't need those dimension tools showing, so I will lasso that one and delete it. Either hit your delete key on the keyboard or click on the trash can in your top toolbar. And here's the trash can. The next thing that I want to do is I want to lock down this elevation wall. So click on the Layers tab on the right, and I like to keep the Layers tab open. So I'm going to click on this middle icon to stick it. If you are using a PC, that middle icon will look like a push pin, and if you are on a Mac, it might look like a dot. But in any case, click on the middle icon to keep your layers window open. To lock the layer, click on this lock icon. Right now it's in the open position, and I want to lock that layer. Great. Now that means my mouse will not detect anything that's on layer 1. I've got my wall and my mouse does not detect it, and I have my window or the 3 windows and my mouse will not detect the windows. That makes it so much easier when you start designing your window treatment on top of the wall. The next thing I want to do is I want to create a second layer, layer 2, which is the layer where my window treatment will be on. So I'm going to click on this plus icon here. There! I've created my second layer. Layer 2 is highlighted, so that is the layer that I will be designing on. I'd like to do one last thing before I start on the window treatment, and that is I want to save this portfolio. I can click on File, Save Portfolio. Or you can click on the Save Portfolio icon here in the toolbar. In either case, you will be prompted to save your design, so choose the directory or folder of your choice. Just a general tip, whenever you're saving files, try not to use a lot of special characters such as apostrophe marks or quotation marks or $signs, percent signs, that kind of thing. Usually a space or a dash or an underscore are safe special characters to use. Your file name will be automatically appended with the DDF extension. That signifies that it is a Dream Draper design. And just one last note, if you are a Dream Draper online user, remember you can save your designs either on the server or on your computer. And if you want more information on that topic, Please make sure to view those tutorials.